My name is Nancy. This is the Knit Sip Happy podcast. I'm going to talk to you today about some knitting, crochet, some spinning. I'm going to try and keep this short today. It is Sunday, December 18th, and there are a bazillion Vlogmases out there, and I don't want to put a long episode out there to get lost in the YouTubes, because I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Anyway, how's your Advent going? I am drinking red wine, Pinot Noir Shiraz today, blend, and what should I tell you before I launch in? I want to go quickly, and I have a feeling I'm going to try to rush things, so I need to be brief, but cover everything. I'm going to take my slippers off. My feet are warm. Okay, I'm Nancy, Knit Sip Happy. I will put everything on the screen, the links, and I will have everything linked down below. I am in, this is a good start, no? I am in Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada, on the East Coast Atlantic. We had our first snow this week. Boo, not a fan of winter, but we live where we live. So I'm going to start off today with what I'm wearing, and this is a super fun sweater story. So this is Ranunculus, but I did not knit this Ranunculus sweater. I'm just going to try and back up a little bit. There we go. So this is Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, knit in Sweet Skein of Mine, fingering and mohair. I believe it was her Knit East color. I will sit back down again so you're not looking at my boobs. There we go. So I didn't knit this sweater. Amanda, who is Sweet Skein of Mine, lives in Fredericton, about an hour and a half away. And she'd posted on Instagram that she had seen this sweater hanging up in the secondhand clothing store that she drops off her clothes to. And it was, I think now that I say that, I'm trying to remember, I think it was $18. My husband happened to be going up to Fredericton the next day to visit my daughter and help her do something around the house. So I tasked him with going to said secondhand clothing store. I had called them and asked them to pull it from the rack, which they very kindly did, and put it aside for my husband to pick up, which he did. So he brought it home. I gave it a quick wash and block, and I have a gorgeous, not very subtle, but very pretty nonetheless, Ranunculus sweater that I like to wear with a white collared shirt underneath. It's got the 3/4 length sleeves with the I-cord, which isn't my preference because I do find I get cold from here to here, but on the milder days, it is very lovely to wear. I love the colors. It is nice and bright on these gloomy, short November, December, January days that are coming up. So that is what I'm wearing, what I didn't knit, and what I still love anyway. All right, Advents. I had shown you on the last podcast what my plans were for Advent, and I'm going to show you what I have actually been accomplishing so far, December 18th, so we're 18 days in. Are you watching a lot of Vlogmases? Are you knitting Advent things? So I have been knitting primarily Advent things. I'm so far behind on Vlogmas. My day job at our craft winery, our business that we run, is very busy this time of year as we're trying to get everybody's wines out for the Christmas holidays. So it's been some long days and I'm quite tired. So I'm really just focusing on my Advent projects and watching Vlogmases as I can. So I'm lucky we're closed between Christmas and New Year, so I have Twixtmas off. So I'll probably be watching the last few days, the 20th to the 24th or the 19th to the 24th, over Twixtmas after my company has all gone home and I have a few days to gather myself back together. All right, knitting. You ready? This is my Area 51 Advent, and I'm housing it in this beautiful Christmas Flower Fairy bags, which I believe is Elm Tree Yarns. I'm not sure if she's selling on Etsy anymore. So I am looking for my tag. Hang on. There it is. Area 51 fibers. This is tea with the Bridgertons. So you get 2 matching skeins of yarn, and this one also came with a mini. So I'll show you where I am. I am caught up, so as of December 18th. So these are, ooh, don't they look fabulous? So this pink was what I did this morning. So I'm doing these toe up, so I cast on with the mini for the toes and 2 at a time on the same long needle. I'm a 2.25 millimeter for my socks, and these are Haya steels with the green cable. I find they're a nice slick needle, not too sharp, but sharp enough. So yeah, oh, and then this little cute gingerbread house. Progress Keeper is from Chapel View Crafts. Everything I talk about will be linked below. I may put it on the screen, I may not. We'll see how editing goes. So I'm just doing a stripe of those every day on both socks. I'm going to knit them all the way and put in an afterthought heel later. I'm not sure how long I'm going to knit them because these skeins have more than the 24 stripes in them. So I'll have to decide how much further I'm going to go. If I kept them a little shorter, I would have enough to knit my daughter a pair of matching Bridgerton socks, which she would probably like because she's also a fan of Bridgerton. All right, the next knit project that's been getting a fair bit of love is housed in my gorgeous handmade bag by What Viv Does on Instagram. She wove this top fabric and gifted this bag to me. Gorgeous. In 2019, we met up before COVID. Vivian lives about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour away. All right, so I had showed you some Handspun that I wanted to make socks out of. I showed you 2 batches of Handspun, but this is the one that has been skeined up the longest. That's a little bright, that's a little better. It's a really deep tealy blue 3-ply Handspun sock yarn, an AT20 blend from Yarn Indulgences. And I caked this up to take with us to Quebec City this summer in July, and I didn't have enough time to do it. So that ball was about to run away. Put it back in the bag. So I have finished 1 sock. I should have put it on a blocker, but I didn't. So this is really hard to see, but I just did my garden fence sock pattern on this. As I've said numerous times, I'm not a fan of just vanilla socks. I like a little something something. I'll put a picture in up here that you can see the pattern a little bit better. But I have 1 sock done, and I have cast on the second, and I'm working on that. It's an easy 6-round repeat, and 4 rounds are plain knitting. So fabulous in this busy time of year when there's not a lot of brain space. All right, I just caught myself looking at the screen, not the camera, so it must be time for a breath and a sip. Lovely. Another knit project that I showed you last time in my gorgeous Mishnah bag is my Ranunculus that I'm gonna knit. This is using Briggs & Little Roving and Kids Silk Drops Kid Silk. Ooh, that was hard. In this just gorgeous undyed cream color. So I've made some good progress on this. I have split for the sleeves. Get myself organized here. I like to work my sweaters on a smaller circumference needle, so it's a little squished up on there. But this is where we are at. So I have split for the sleeves, done the beautiful lace yoke, and I have my sleeves on hold on the little silicone try-it-on cords. And I'm just working down the body. I haven't worked on this in at all this week because I thought this would be great Christmas Day knitting when I'm up and down and paying attention, or when we're playing games or working on the jigsaw puzzle and all the things we have planned for Christmas. Ooh, ooh, almost lose, look, almost losing stitches again. All right. Secured. I'm doing this on my Knit Pro Zings, and I'm on a 6mm needle for the knitting, and I'm on the 375 for the receiving. I've mentioned this in another podcast that I like to use the gauge needle that I'm knitting from, and a much smaller needle as my left hand needle. That way the stitches just move so smoothly on and off the cord and to the needle. So yeah. Loving it. I've got loads of yarn left, so I'm not sure how cropped I'll be doing this. I think I might do this one not as cropped, that I could just wear with jeans instead of having to wear with a long top or a tunic or a dress underneath. That's the plan for now. We'll see how the yarn holds up. You can see I've got the yarn on my desk there, the spare. And my last thing that I've been knitting, oh, hang on. I'm going to insert a couple pictures. I did some more baby knits. I knit a flax light in provincial tweed worsted, and I did a barley hat, which I don't have a picture of at all. I had showed you the beloved bonnet last episode, and for my cousin who was having a baby. And I decided that I wanted to do some more cute little fun knits. So I knit a little flax, a regular flax, not a flax light, a flax in provincial tweed worsted in their bluebird colorway. I have a bad pre-blocking picture of it. And then the barley hat, I used the wool from the beloved bonnet as the brim and the provincial tweed as the body of the hat. I have no pictures of that one at all. I just blocked everything, popped it into an envelope, and got it into the mail. If there are pictures forthcoming in the future from the recipient, either on the baby or not on the baby, then I will share them here. But I did a nice little 3-pack set for a new baby. So that's my only finished items in December. Okay, back to the last knitting project. So I had told you that I was going to be picking up my Advent project from one of my Advent projects from last year. Is this jelly roll blanket. I can't see a thing. So I started this on December 1st. This is the Advent from Sweet Skein of Mine that I got in 2021. I had started the blanket and then put it down after Advent and picked it up every now and again, but hadn't done a lot. So where I'm not knitting from my Advent this year, and I'll talk about that in just a second, I figured I would pick this one up and work on it and perhaps finish it. So my goal has been to do a gray chunk and a colored chunk every day to see if I can't get this finished in December. So I've made some really good progress. I'm just going to try and find the stitch marker. I put a stitch marker in when I started. Okay, there it is. So I've done 2 full rows, and they are 12 blocks each, and I've just started with the 3rd row. So yeah, I'm repeating the colors, and it's funny how I've got these kind of neon corals lined up, and then blues have lined up here. And there's another row, this kind of brownie. It's just interesting the way it's lined up. And I did this in order of the Advent from Amanda. Yeah. So this is my jelly roll blanket. Oh, and this was, remember I had said I made a mistake and had lost count, and this row was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Well, now I'm making it get bigger and bigger and bigger gradually. So yeah, it'll be fine. It's a blanket. So that's my last knitting project that I'm working on right now. And I have all of that housed in this kind of old-fashioned knitting hamper because it works with, I've got all the bags still numbered from last year's Advent in here so I can keep everything in order. For the gray yarn, I'm using Stroll fingering from Knit Picks in the Dove Heather colorway. This is my last ball. I had this in stash and didn't really think about it, but I should have had more. So I contacted my local knitty friends and asked if any of them had any in their stash. They did not. Then I sent them another message going, hey, who wants to go in on a Knit Picks order? Because I need some of this to finish my blanket. I don't know if it'll arrive before Christmas. It shipped yesterday, the 16th. So a friend of mine, we put in an order to get the free shipping. Of course we did. Why would we do anything and not get the free shipping? Got the free shipping. So I've got some acquisitions coming from Knit Picks that I can show you in the new year, or Twixtmas if I record. We'll see. But fundamentally I ordered 3, but I think I'll only need 2 balls of this stroll. I keep wanting to say tweed because I've got a lot of stroll tweed in my stash. Stroll fingering in Dove Heather. And I'm just using a Chowgu double pointed needle, and I just put a stitch stopper on the end to use it as a straight and not have to worry about the stitches falling off the end. So, and then the last thing I've been working on is the crochet blanket. I had told you last time I was going to be doing a corner to corner blanket using my Handspun advent calendar from 2 years ago. So I got this in 2020. I spun it December 2020, and then I plied it in 2021 with white mohair. So this is the 3rd ball. I had 3 and a bit balls. So I'm working on that. I had asked your opinion because I had this Handspun advent calendar from last year. It's a 3-ply chain ply. Yeah, from Yarn Indulgences. And I had asked what you thought to incorporate it into the blanket without it looking even nuttier than it is. So I have decided I'm going to use this as a border to make it bigger around the outside. I'm going to show you what I've done. So I have cast on, and I have been working on a corner to corner blanket. So I started up here. I used the Bella Coco tutorial on YouTube and just worked my way through the colors. The stripes have gotten skinnier as I've gone, and then I've not squared it off. I'm looking for a rectangular lap blanket. So this corner I started to stop increasing. The other side I kept increasing until just now. I did a little math as far as how many days I had done, how many days I had left of yarn, and decided that this was what I had to do. So this is how it's going to be. This is the width of it, and then it just goes down and 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 down. So I've really enjoyed this. I'm not a fantastic crocheter, but this kind of thing is very mindless. I have to look at it. Whereas knitting, sometimes I can do it without looking at it, but I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, it's not going to be the biggest blanket in the world, but what I was thinking was top and bottom, I could just do some straight granny rows across the top here. I could do, a few inches of straight granny rows in this. And then when I get to the length of the blanket that I want, I can just start going around the whole perimeter of the blanket with the grannies to make an edging to tie it in. That's what I'm thinking. It's going to be the best use to use as much yarn as possible, which is the goal of this. I want to use all of the yarn, have a beautiful squishy blanket. Yeah, that's the last thing I've been working on. I have Christmas Eve cast on plans. We'll talk about that. Oh, back up the truck. This year's Advent. This year's Advent, I got, my other Advent, yarn Advent, is from Comfy Cozy Knits in Alberta. And I will put some pictures on the screen, either completely over me or to the side, of what I have opened so far. I am not knitting that as we go because I'm planning on doing, I had mentioned last time, either a Simple Stripes by Subi Knits or the Stripes by Andrea Mowry. I have since purchased the Simple Stripes by Subi Knits to use with my sweater. So I'm going to have to figure out color order. The picture that I had showed you, or the video that I had showed you, is in day order. But I'm going to need to mix up those colors a little bit to make it the way I want it to look, more visually impactful. That sounds a little like my own Noirish, doesn't it? So that's the other Advent that I'm doing. And that will be for the new year. Okay. Yeah, so I'm kind of excited. We've got an extra guest coming for Christmas. My girlfriend is coming up to stay with us. And I've taught her, well, she knows how to knit, but we've had her some refreshers, and she's knitting socks. So she is coming up with her socks and is very excited to be doing some knitting. And my daughter, who I'd mentioned taught herself how to crochet so she could crochet pumpkins, I told her to bring all the acrylic yarn that I'd sent home with her and her crochet hooks, because I think she would also love to do a corner to corner blanket because it's just mindless and easy. So I'm planning on having a nice couple of fibery days with family and friends while we play games, drink Baileys. Christmas means Baileys. Anyway, so that's the plan for Christmas. Eat, drink, and be merry, and knit and crochet with friends. I have a quick acquisition section to show you, and then a little design chat because I have some exciting news. And then I've got a recipe at the end. I show you how to make my world famous lemon curd in the microwave. Super easy, great gift, delicious. I'll put that right at the end. So if you're not interested, you can just fast forward right through that. All right. Acquisitions are kind of go into pattern design chat. And my first ever knit along. I'm going to be hosting a knit along just on Instagram. No, we're going to back up the truck. Acquisitions first. That's what I said, right? Last time I was all out of order. I had to keep putting little notes down, and I'm hoping not to have to do that this time and be a little efficient. I apologize. I'm getting a little nasally and throaty. We've had a flu cold going around our house, and I'm on the way out. My husband's still kind of feeling a bit yuck. But I'm a little bit snotty and scratchy to go along with my menopausal elves of sweaty and grumpy. Okay, stop. So, I have my local yarn store, La Violette yarn store in Bucktouche, New Brunswick. I had been out there in September or October with Deborah Yarn Indulgences because I wanted to pick up some tin from Sadness Garn. Tin, I'm just going to put this bag down. Tin Lina. It's a fingering weight blend of 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen, and it's 220, I saw that. Where's it gone? 220 meters in 50 grams. So I got 6 balls of this. I had ordered it when we were there in October. Mana only had 1 or 2 skeins of this kind of pretty smoky purple color when I was there, and I'd said next time your order comes in, let me know, and I will grab some for a summer top of some kind next year. So that is already summer planning, and I'm going to try and show you this without the glare. Oh, there we go. She sent along a beautiful card, and the hat that the llama alpaca is wearing matches my yarn. Excellent planning. my lovely friends at La Violette. So I have 6 balls of that in this bag to go into my stash for the new year. The other thing that came is, oh goodness, goodness. Where did I put you? There you are. My creative knitter order came. I had done, this was a pre-order that Stephanie had sent me some yarn to show off to you guys and to knit with. I knit the hat for my daughter in Plant Lady. This is the Let's Stay Home colorway that I've knit my socks in. We'll be talking about that in a second. And these two came as well. This is, oh, isn't that gorgeous? All booked up. And I also got succulents. So these two are what I'm planning on doing my Christmas Eve cast on with. One of these two are what I'm planning on doing my Christmas Eve cast on. I'm not sure which one yet. Anybody? Preferences? All booked up or succulents? Let me know below what you think. And if I agree with you, I'll use that color. And I also had ordered this project bag. This is my first project bag from Stephanie, and it's lovely. It's got the nice little handle. I haven't even broken the seal on the drawstring yet, so it's still a little stiff. And this is the Creative Knitter. Thank you, Stephanie. I love everything. So this is gonna be my this is going to be my bag for my Christmas Eve cast on. I will cake that yarn up when I decide which one I'm doing. And what I'm going to be knitting for my Christmas Eve cast on is my Let's Stay Home socks. So we've now transitioned from acquisitions into a little pattern chat, but don't run away just yet, because this is going to be a free download. Monday, December 19th. This is going live on Ravelry for free as a thank you, a huge thank you. There's two. A huge thank you for all of your support, cheerleading, purchasing, sharing, everything. Hello, this is Editing Nancy of the future. I forgot to say, one of the many reasons I'm so thankful for my patterns, for all of your support this year, is I was able to donate over $2,500 to different charities from the sock pattern purchases. So that is another reason why I'm so grateful for all of your support this year. I only started releasing sock patterns this year in 2022. I think I have 7 now. I think this is going to be 8. This is going to be free. I'd love it if you would choose this as your Christmas Eve cast on. All of my testers were asked, would you be able to knit this over Christmas with the people and the chaos and the chit chat and the alcohol and the late nights and the whatever else your Christmas shenanigans involve? And it was a resounding yes. It's my typical favorite style. There are 2 pattern rounds and 4 rounds of stockinette, and the back is stockinette all the way, so it shows off your beautiful yarn. So I used the Let's Stay Home sock set from Stephanie the Creative Knitter to design this pattern. And we're going to have a knit along on Ravelry. I will put the details below, and I will put the hashtag on the screen. It's going to be called the Let's Stay Home Sockskal. It's going to run as of when this video goes out. It's when the pattern comes out, on Monday, December 19th until January 31st. I don't care if you don't finish your socks, but if you want to cast on and use this as your Christmas Eve cast on, or your New Year's cast on, or your Gift of the Magi on January 6th cast on, anytime between December 19th and January 31st, cast on a pair of Let's Stay Home socks. Use the hashtag on Instagram, hashtag Let's Stay Home Sockskal, and I'm going to gift the winner of this sock set of Let's Stay Home from the Creative Knitter. And probably some extra goodies that I have about my person. So that's what's going on design-wise. We're going to be knitting along together on Instagram. I can't wait to see the hashtags and follow along with you all and what yarn you're going to choose. Please tag me because I'd love to, give you my opinion on what you should cast on, what yarn you should cast on, whether you listen to me or not, same as I will do for you. So that is that. Administrative. Speaking of giveaway, I am having a major meltdown all of a sudden. That red wine has done a number on me. And I closed the door because my husband is working out in the garage with a friend and I'm looking at the screen, not the camera. Back to episode 1. Look at the camera, Nance. I closed the door and lit a candle for atmosphere. And the furnace is running and there's a vent right behind the camera. And I'm melting, and he hasn't come in from the garage, which I assumed he would be because it's lunchtime. But he's out there with a friend, so I'm sure they're doing a lot of this. Oh, yes, administration. If you haven't watched the last episode and you entered for the giveaway, the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, please go back and watch that because I have not heard from the winner. So you'll have to go back and look at that. I'm being coy because I feel like it. It's my rules, I get to do what I want. Go back to the last video if you haven't watched it and you entered for that giveaway because I have this beautiful skein. It's behind me. Can you see it? I don't want to. Sweet Skein of Mine yarn and the Dodo Leathercraft bracelet, the knitter bracelet that is waiting to be mailed off to the lucky recipient or for me to knit the socks. I haven't heard either way. So if you haven't watched that video, hop on back to the last episode and give it a watch and let me know that you've seen it and we'll make arrangements to get that shipped. Okay. Did I rattle through that really quickly? I still have quite a bit of wine left, but again, hot flash. So maybe I won't finish my wine for this episode. I have a little bit of footage I probably put at the beginning, some Christmassy seasonal things. We had a knit night a couple of weeks ago, which was fabulous. And my lemon curd recipe, which will be down below, and I will be putting in some footage of me making the lemon curd. I have lots of little jars in my fridge now, cooling for gifts and for us to eat over the holidays. So that's it. I'm looking at my timer. I have not paused and I am under 35 minutes. So by the time I put a little plinky plonky music and some footage, be close to 40, and that's pretty good for me. I tend to ramble quite a lot. You may have to slow my speed down if I have gone too fast for you. I do apologize. I wish you a very happy holiday season, regardless of what you celebrate, whether it's just family time or you celebrate Christmas or any of the other observances that happen at this time of year. Happy holidays, happy knitting, happy sipping, and I will see you soon. Cheers. I'm watching a little Vlogmas Gaina this afternoon while I'm making my lemon curd. So we're going to start by beating up 3 eggs. I just whisk this by hand. And when it's whisked up a little bit just to break up the eggs, I'm going to add in the sugar and just whisk it up by hand. So I need a half a cup of lemon juice. I used 3 lemons today, and they're still quite small, so I always have just a bit of lemon juice in the fridge just in case to top me up. We like ours quite lemony, so I usually put extra of the grated zest in there. I find that gives it a really tart flavor. So this is the eggs and the sugar. I've just added a half a cup of lemon juice. And I'm going to scrape the rind, the zest rind in next. I saved you the time of me having to, oops, sorry, knocking the camera. All right. So, all that lemon rind in there. So we use lemon curd for desserts. I'll pair it with, do it as a pavlova with meringue and fruit and whipped cream. I'm making this because for Christmas breakfast, we're going to be having a build your own croissant kind of bar. So I've got you-bake croissants for breakfast, and I've got some fancy jam and marmalade and a caramel spread, and I thought some homemade lemon curd would be lovely. So the next thing that we need is a couple of tablespoons of butter. I just eyeball this. And then I love this recipe. Some people change it to put it in a saucepan. I love this because it goes in the microwave and it takes about 4 minutes. So I'm going to go and walk away with it and do that, and I will show you as it's cooking. So this is 1 minute in the microwave. The cautionary tale of doing it in the microwave is you want to cook it for 4 minutes, but you want to do it in small increments. So I start with a minute because that gets the butter melted, and then I do every 30 seconds after that until I get the consistency that I want. If you do it in too long, you could end up with lemony scrambled eggs. It's not what you're going for. Okay, so here we are. It's been my 30-second increments for about 4 minutes, and you can see, woo, I'm so sorry, it's gotten nice and thick. So I've got an assortment of jars here. I'm going to pour it into the jars, and then it goes into the fridge to cool. So some of these will be gifts, and some of them will be for us to use over the holidays.